Hello and welcome back. Here I am going to just walk you through my thought process on doing the little dio vignette here with the Sherman tank. If you had looked at my previous videos, you saw I did this initial sketch about what I wanted to do. Tank, wall, or building, field, maybe a road in there. And from there, I am starting out to plan it out. So what I am using, just so that maybe it might give you some idea. So just have a piece of wood. Just got this from a craft store. They came like multiple pack. I don't have any thick foam, so I'm using some foam core that I have. So this is from the dollar store. We just got a big sheet. So I just cut a couple of pieces to fit on that, and I'm going to glue everything down later. Using the tank as a size reference, I took some foam core, made a wall, measured out to see what I can use as a wall. And all the lines here, I explain these in a little bit. This way I had a good idea about the size and positioning about the walls that I wanted to use for here. And what I did, once I had that, this aside, I glued two pieces of the foam core, 2 layers. I marked and cut out a groove here. This is where the wall is going to go. And then I'm going to have another wall here. And that's what that groove is for. Now, the little wall here, again, 2 pieces glued together back to back using some toothpicks, cocktail sticks, and I just press these in here temporarily, and they'll help hold the wall up. Eventually all this stuff is going to be glued down, and once I'll trim everything off to actual proper size. So I'm going to have this exterior wall here. I left a gap here. This is going to be like a little gate that would have gone into this courtyard to this open area here. And then you have the groove here for the building wall, and then the street here. So here in the building, what I have is, again, doubled up. Just made a simple 90-degree wall. And then you see the markings that I have here. So what these markings indicate are the floors going horizontally, and then I marked out where I would have probably windows in here. And then on the outside, just marked also the floors. As you can see, I have 2 pieces of the foam core here. No big deal. All this stuff is going to be covered with some plaster and stuff after I cut out the windows. And then this just fits neatly in here. Oops, knock that off. Again, all this eventually will be glued down, but just for now. As such, so that you have the building, you have this little courtyard open area, you have a wall, you're going to have a little opening here, a little gate, and then you have the sidewalk street out here. Now for the actual building, I'm not going to make it this tall. A lot of this is going to be cut off after I cut out the windows to have all the debris, demolished building, both in the front and back. So basically you're going to have a jagged line, jagged destroy there. Oops. For this. Anyway, so that was my initial planning for this, and I'll be back showing you the next step. Thank you. Hello, and welcome back to the next part of this dio build. So as you can see, I cut out the windows here, and I thought this was a little too high, so I wound up just cutting half of it off, so that just a little bit more lower. This doesn't look so big on my shelf and stuff. You see all the little red lines. It's just me trying to mark out where I'm going to have some rubble. This is all glued in. Just a little bit of a little extra detailing here. See. So the next step I'm going to do with this is I was experimenting a little bit. Let me see if I can find it here. Maybe doing some. So what I'm going to have, this is going to be a brick building, and then you're going to be plastered. So just experimenting here a little bit by peeling off some of the paper layer, then underneath just embossing some of the brickwork where it was exposed, and then what I'm going to do is I'll put a light sheet of plaster over it, and then work it on a little bit more. So I'll be back after I've done that. Hello and welcome back. Alright, so I am here after I did my little embossing bricks there using just a regular ballpoint pen. I did that there inside and outside as you see. Now my next step is going to do a little, I guess basically I put a little bit of a plaster on it. So I'm just using some regular spackle paste you can get at any hardware store, anything similar to that. So I got a little bit here in the cup. And I'm gonna dilute it a little bit, make a little bit more paintery, like a thick paint with water. And I'm also gonna dye it with a little bit of coloring, a little black or red. And using an old brush, I am just going to go ahead, so you can get that here on camera. Just pour a little bit of water in there. A few drops of paint. Now, even though I'm probably going to be painting and weathering all this, I just want to give it a little bit of extra color before I do so. This way, if anything gets chipped up, it will have the coloring to it. Alright, so just using an old brush is going to mix this up. I probably added a little bit too much black paint there, and this is going to turn really black. But it's going to dry a little bit lighter. It's not the end of the world. It just gives us some inside coloring, so if I do any chipping, anything else after this, it's probably a little bit thick still for my purpose. Add a little bit more water, mix it up. Add a little bit more red. Well, you can see that in there. A little bit more water. And what I'm going to do, I just want a little bit of a thick paint consistency. And I'm just going to paint this over the areas where I have my exposed bricks. And it'll should give it a nice little texture. I did a little bit just using white here, testing it out before. You can see it gives a little bit of a plaster texture to that wall. But first I'm going to do these bricks. I'm just going to apply this and basically paint it on. So when it dries, it just should give me some plaster over that texture. Dab it good well and hit all the broken parts. Anyway, won't bore you by doing all this on camera, so I'll be right back after I have finished doing that. Alright, so I have done applying that watered down mixture of the spackle painted. You can see I just had some spare, so I just put some more there on the wall there and along some other edges there. So I'm just going to let this dry and show you how it looks. Alright, so be right back. Alright, welcome back. So the plaster has dried. As you can see, it leaves a nice little texture there on the embossed bricks and the cracks and stuff. So next step I'm going to do is put on the same type of thing on the rest of the building. Now for that, I mix up another little batch here. This is a little thicker than what I did before. So it's the same spackle. I just put it in the same cup, so that's why it's got some coloring on it. Again, no big deal. So I'm going to paint over these eventually anyway. But it does give it a little bit of a color on it, so if I chip, crack, it will you won't see the white underneath it. Anyway, so what you see me doing here, I'm just going to be dabbing it and applying it over the walls and everything else that's the building as such. And then I'll come back and show you when I'm done with this, and I will take it from there. Alright, so I'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. Here I am some time later after letting the spackle dry. You can see it dried much lighter than what you saw probably previously. And you see it gets a little nice little texture in there on the exterior walls and where else I placed it. So my next step is going to be to do a little bit of sanding now on the interior wall. Still got that little bumpy texture. I'm going to take some sandpaper and, like I did here, slightly sand to get a more smoother texture on the inside walls. I don't know how well the camera picks that up. And then on the exterior, I'm going to do a little bit of sanding as well, but not just to knock down some of the highlights, some of the more major bumps, but not as smooth. Just give kind of a stucco texture to it. And also, you might see here on the front window, front opening here, I started framing the window. And basically, what I'm using for the framing is those little popsicle type sticks that you find at any hobby craft store, and wooden coffee stirrers. So I'm just measuring in place, cutting them, and placing them. Right now, this is just there in place; it's not glued in yet. But I'm going to do that for the windows as well. Now for the upper windows, I'm just going to make them be more broken off and stuff. Anyway, I'll show you in a few minutes, so I'll be right back. Thank you. Alright, so here we are after that little light sanding on the outside and on the inside. You can see on the outside I still left a lot of that texture, so you get kind of stucco effect. I did a little bit more sanding. It's not perfectly smooth. There's still a little rough plaster work on it, but that is fine for this build. Same thing on the floor here and the outside. Now I actually used that little portable air booth, spray booth that I got a few months ago that I did a video on to do the sanding in, which helped a lot to pick up all that sanding dust into the spray booth as opposed to all over the room. And after that, I just took a brush and dusted off, and again the spray booth fan just sucked all that dust out into the booth, into the filter, so I don't have to worry about that contaminating the room. And also, I did use a mask, a dust mask, to make sure that I wasn't breathing anything in as well. Alright, so next up I'm going to go around and put on the other two windows here on the ground floor. And again, what I'm using are these popsicle sticks for the main frame, and then the coffee stirrer. And basically all I'm doing is taking a marker, cocktail stick, one of these popsicle sticks, and I'm just marking where to cut. As such, I'm using a pair of these cutters. Using a pair of these cutters, I'm just gonna crimp where I'm cutting. And then this might be easier if I had a little saw, but I don't have it handy. And then I'm just taking an X-Acto knife and scoring a little deeper, cutting into the wood. And then this should just pop off. And anything remnant there, I'll just sand it off, measure again. You know the old adage, measure twice, cut once. And over the bottom still there. Now, as I'm cutting this, I'd rather be a little bit longer and then sand it down, trim it to actual size, than be too short and then just wasted a piece of wood. Granted, this is pretty inexpensive popsicle sticks, but nevertheless, why waste material? Just like that. This is actually a little hard to do it as I have it here on camera, but there, it snaps. And again, if there's any hard little red edges, just sand them down. Then test fit. If it's a little bit too much, I just trim a little bit more. And there you go. And I'll just reason this is just their friction fit inside. And there you go. And there's my bottom. Oops, sorry, out of frame. There's my bottom windowsill. And then I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the top and the two sides. And then what I did over here, just to show you, same technique, using the coffee stirrers to do the inside window frame. And you can see that I started on the bottom. I need to do the sides as well. And that's how I'm going to frame the windows. Alright, so I'll be back with the next step. Thank you. Hello and welcome back. Alright, so I did the framing here for the windows on the side. As you see, they're not perfectly straight, perfectly squared, a little bow here and there, but I mean, part of that is the error just because I kind of made this up as I went along. So I didn't exactly cut everything perfectly true, square, and equal. But in any case, I mean, I think it just kind of lends into the old, this is a bombed out building structure. So there'll be plenty of damage. Things are not going to be square. Things are not going to be even nice and neat. So kind of probably adds to the effect. Anyway, I'm going to stop this video here for now. I think this has probably gone long enough for this week. So I'll pick it up again next week with the next steps. All right. Thank you all for watching.